excited about this panel today. You'll notice maybe there's a little bit of a theme here. With these panelists, we really wanted to look at women who are doing sustainable things for our earth and our community. We're coming off of Earth Day with their brands, but also that they've been able to sustain the things that they are passionate about within their business and their personal lives. So our moderator today, I will introduce, is Andrea Ritter from Wunder Health. Andrea is wonderful. She is an Indianapolis native, currently lives in Colorado, so she's back and forth all the time. We love her. I will let Andrea introduce our panelists, and I hope you all enjoy this panel.
Thank you, Leslie. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, so thank you for having me, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to three Earth mothers who really are embodying sustainability. But today we're going to talk about how they sustain their passions, because Lord knows you can have the best intentions and want to love your business every single day, and that's not always easy. And so we're going to hear from three beautiful and amazing, brilliant women who have started these businesses that are changing the world, and we want to hear all from them. So my first wonderful guest today is Baer from the Baer Minimalist. She helps busy families get organized and stylized. So welcome, Mariah.
Thank you for having me.
So excited. And then my dear friend, Ambre Crockett from Ambre Blends. She's the founder of a beautiful organic body care line that I feel like everyone on the planet probably knows about and smells about everywhere we go. So welcome today, Ambre.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you.
And our dear friend, Jessie, Eskew. And Jessie has a sustainable general store on in Fountain Square, and it's so exciting to meet you and to have you share your wonderful passion today. And I do not want to butcher the name, Onatah.
Yeah, so the name means of the earth, and people pronounce it differently. I say Onatah, some people say Onatah. It's like a full spectrum, but it means of the earth, and that's the most important part.
Yes, and you are the queen of it. So Onatah.
Yeah.
Yay, I did it.
You can say it however you want.
I did it as well. I am so happy to have you today for you to share with us. So let's start with Mariah. Mariah, you started your business 4 years ago. You took a chance on yourself, and that is amazing. So congratulations for taking that leap, because that's the first step. But do you still wake up every day excited about your thing? Do you love it every single day still?
You know, I mean, it would be silly to say that I love it every single day, every single moment. But what I will say is going into people's homes and helping them is something that is so fulfilling to me. And every single day is a little bit different. Every client is a little bit different. You know, they need me for different reasons. Sometimes it's, you know, really unfortunate circumstances that would, you know, have somebody reach out to me. But in other cases, it's, you know, especially the last year, it's been, I'm so busy, like I can't stay on top of things. And my kids are doing e-learning. I'm trying to operate a business out of my home. And like, I don't have time to organize the linen closet, but it would give me great joy to see that done. So yeah, I feel like every day I kind of leave my clients' homes feeling very fulfilled. And then there's the business side of it, which is sometimes, you know, maybe not the most exciting, but yeah, I would say most days I wake up pretty dang excited to get to work.
That's so awesome. Jessie, are you still excited every day? How long have you been in business at the general store?
It's almost been 5 years. And
okay.
I kind of want to echo what Mariah was saying. I still love it, but there are days, you know, I wake up and I'm like, I just don't want to go to work. I think it's like a human experience to not want to work, but I do love it. There's nothing else I would be doing right now. So, I mean, if that says how much I love it, it should.
I love that. Ambre, you've been around for a couple of minutes now. How many years has Ambre Blends been sharing their light with the world?
20 this year.
Oh my
This
Lord.
year we're celebrating our 20 years in business. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. So after 20 years, I mean, you've lived the whole life cycle at this point. How do you feel every day now that you've expanded and grown in different ways? Are you still as excited as that first day? How do you stay inspired?
I am still excited. I still love it. I still pinch myself every day. I get to wake up. I get to go to work with people that I love, that care about the business as much as I do. It's sustaining itself right now. And I know we're going to get into that. And I can't wait to share more about that. But yeah, it's got its moments, but even in the moments, there's finding that beauty, and learning to trust others and to let them lean in and let them shine and show up. And girl, it's just a blessing. I'm still in love. Yeah.
That is a huge testament. I mean, no matter where you are on your cycle with your business, it is a relationship. It is a marriage, and we are not always in love every day, but we can get back to love. And so I thank you all for sharing that. That's awesome. And I'm just so excited for all of you. So to the point of those days where you're like, I kind of want to hang out at the house, Jessie. How do you stay motivated on those days? I mean, you have a brick and mortar. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, even if you have employees, you're still like, that's still your baby. Like you still have to feed the baby. So
yeah, there's a lot of pressure to be there every day and have the shop open. And usually I have a really good team of people that help me out. But there are days when nobody can help and I don't feel like going. And so I close the shop down because I feel like my mental health is more important than people buying plants, and I love that I get to offer that, but I also want to be realistic. And if I don't take care of myself, if I didn't take that day off, then I would want to take the next day off and the next day, and it would just build up until I just couldn't handle it anymore. So
that is huge. What you just said is so huge, because that means you're listening to yourself first. And even if it means that the door is not open, you're being authentic with you. Now, I mean, if you did that for 7 weeks, we might need to discuss it, but I love that you're being so authentic, and that's real. Mariah, I mean, you are working one-on-one with folks. So what happens on those days where you're like, you know what, maybe I am not feeling it today and don't want to go and look at all your stuff?
Well, I will say I have twin 2-year-olds at home.
Blessing.
So my mornings are really hectic and crazy. And sometimes it's like, I get in the car and I'm like, I'm so glad I get to go work with someone one-on-one and just take that few hours away each day. I think the unique thing about running your own business is, I set my own hours. So each month I do work Monday through Friday. I'm in generally 5 different clients' homes throughout the week. But each month when I'm looking ahead, right now I'm booking into July. So I block a couple days off for myself. And so I feel like sometimes those are overrun with client projects that I'm trying to wrap up. But a lot of times I'll have, 2 hours on a random Friday during the month that I can take for myself when, my kids are still have a little bit of care in the house and I don't need to be on. So I feel like, again, kind of talking about mental health, it is so nice to have the ability to just set aside a little bit of me time every once in a while. And then just remembering why did I start this business? I wanted that flexibility. I wanted to help people and feel that instant gratification. I mean, from a selfish perspective, I wanted to feel that. I came from a sales role and there wasn't a ton of that happening every day. And just giving me that opportunity to be really present as a mom, because I get this opportunity to leave the house each day to do something that I also really love.
I love that so much. And you just said the key word, you said, I have the opportunity. And so that is such a beautiful place to be. It's a place of power, but there's also like just this, it's so nice that that you're there in this you have the opportunity to work with other people and change their lives. And you really like, I mean, I'm sure that you could tell us stories of like going in and shifting the energy in a home. So I love that it is an opportunity to serve and to all of your passion around, you know, this Mother Earth and her people. That is like, to have that intention probably makes it easier to get up and do those things that you're doing and shine that light on people. So I love that. Ambre, it's tricky when you know somebody. So I like don't want to have a pre-programmed answer for Ambre. So I'm going to let her speak. Ambre, how do you manage yourself when you're not feeling motivated?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because this past year that has shifted. When we talk about sustainability, you know, it's always been about trying to stay conscious about that. It's always been about, you know, creating products that are clean and green and good for your wellness and sustainable, and creating sustainable packaging and refilling and recyclable and biodegradable, but sustainable people in your business, and sustainable business, and not leveraging and all that kind of stuff. And so while I'm trying to focus on that, it's been interesting, because this year, what I've realized, getting back to your question, is for me, the deeper meaning of sustainability is not really what the body's eyes see and deal with every day, but it's the sustainability of spirit, the truth of who we are, and the mental wellness being. So circling back around, I have found that if I need to take a moment and go in and meditate or do a lesson or whatever, that not only serves me, but it serves everybody around me, my children, my husband, my business, my employees. So dropping in, taking a beat, having a moment, shutting it down is, even if it's just for 5 minutes or a day or whatever, that definitely has helped me sustain. I have found that to be the most important.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is I love that. And Lord knows, like, we've all had to, become our next thing. And, some of those days I'm like, I don't know what that next thing is yet. And being comfortable with the discomfort of that, which is a beautiful thing. And so back to Jessie's point, when you're not feeling overly motivated, you take that time, because if you're not doing you in a good way and bringing yourself in because of your role at serving the world, then it's really challenging to show up, with like clean energy and like do the work. So I love that. You all are some evolved mamas. I love it. Ambre, you are the senior here. You've been in business for over 20 years. I mean, I'm sure the stuff was percolating before you opened the doors. What would you say your key to long-term success is?
I think the key is trying to stay in that co-creative divine process. When I do that, and staying connected to source, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the key has been that if that's always there, not only am I attracted to and magnetized to people that are also magnetizing their love, we're able to do and serve more together than we are by ourselves. So I feel like this past year especially has been about transitioning. And I know you know the language from fear to love, right? This past year has been key for diving into that more and staying in that creative flow. That's where we're connected. That's where we're one with all aspects of creation. And when we're there, things kind of take care of themselves. This business has grown and taken care of itself and found its people and has grown every year. And the reason why this past year is so impactful to me is because we grew in 2020. What? We kept all our employees. I mean, how does that happen? It's because we're feeding and sustaining our spirit, going back to that, you know, and staying true to who we are and growing and learning and supporting each other and lifting each other up. And those thoughts directs energy, and it protects and guides the business on its own. I truly believe that.
Well, I mean, mic drop, everybody. I don't even know what to say. I mean, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that is coming from a place of intention and being super, I think just very smart about the steps that you're taking, but like the wisdom along a 20-year journey has brought you here. So that's amazing. I love that. Mariah, the 4 years, that is quite an accomplishment to be where you are 4 years later and just to continue to grow and to thrive. How would you say that from the beginning to now that you maybe have a different view of what that long-term success is? And, you know, like maybe you thought there were certain steps in the beginning to now, has that shifted? And how have you sustained that?
I think that in the beginning, like with many small businesses, you kind of take the business that you can get. And so I feel like I kind of cast a wide net of, oh, sure, I can offer that service, I can do that. But over time, I realized what I truly was passionate about and was able to kind of niche down and just provide the services that make a ton of sense to me. And I feel like I'm still in a position where with young kids at home, where I like being the one that can go do the work. And then I can also come home and I don't have teams running out all over the city. And, you know, there's not a ton of like business management. There's a lot of marketing effort, but there's not a lot of business management right now. And so I think sometimes I just have to remind myself to savor this moment, to savor the time that I have with my kids. And the fact that, you know, when I'm here at 4 o'clock, I can take them on a walk and my phone's not ringing off the hook with, you know, with teammates that are, you know, needing me for a bunch of different things. And I think that there will come a time when my business does shift and I do start to want to grow it into something much larger than it is. But I really just try to savor, you know, what it is right now. And I think we'll probably get into how the last year, how the, you know, pandemic and quarantine affected our businesses. But one thing it certainly showed me is I've got to figure out some different ways to maybe have a little bit of passive income attached to my business, because when I'm not in someone's house working with them, I really am not set up to, you know, make money. So I feel like the last year was pretty interesting right off the bat. And now I'm, you know, busier than ever, booked further out than I ever thought I would be. So yeah, so 2020 was actually great for me, but it does have me thinking like, okay, how can I diversify a little bit, but stay true to the niche of, you know, organizing that I truly love.
So would you say that, you know, when everything shifted, like how did that affect you? Like, were you nervous? Were you scared when you had to shift into another, you know, gear to become more and to build your business more? How did you move through that process?
So we have a nanny here that watches our kids. And so I remember like we went on vacation March 9th of last year. We were supposed to go out of the country and ended up just doing a little road trip, my husband and I, since we already had childcare lined up for the week. And as that week went on, we were like, what are we doing? Like, we need to get home. Like, there is something massive that's about to happen. And so I came home, I canceled my clients for a week, and I was very apologetic. Like, I'm so sorry, but I think that I probably shouldn't come. Like this was like my pandemic or something like that, you know, I was responsible for. But clients were so understanding, and they always have been. I'm lucky that all of my clients are just wonderful people to work with and work for. So I canceled for a week, and then I canceled for a second week. And then I was like, I don't know what's happening. So I actually canceled everything that was on the books. But by mid-May, I decided, like, if I don't work, like, I can't just wait this out. No one knew what it was going to look like. So I just very cautiously started going back into clients' homes. I still mask, every moment that I'm in someone's home, just to protect them and to protect myself and my family. It did shift. The other piece that kind of shifted was the fact that I normally try to work side by side with my clients. So we're in the master closet together and we're going through their clothing and we're deciding, are these things that, you really love and want and would like to wear, or should we pass them along to some women or men in need? And that felt a little uncomfortable to me. So I really tried to work with clients where basically I could do the work without them being in the space with me. So I'm looking forward to the moments when we can start working together side by side again, because I really missed that, connection with my clients.
Well, it sounds like you were able to, move through that gracefully, even though no one had a clue what in the world was going on. Still don't, but that's great.
Exactly.
Jessie, what's the key to your long-term success? 5 years is big, especially in retail. So congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how have you, what are the secrets that you could share with people, especially because people love retail, girl. People want to open a new store and it's work.
I would say fake it until you make it is the number one thing. I mean, I started this with nothing. I have no family money. I have no spouse to keep me supported. So really for me, it's just been a lot of long nights and really hard work and just committing myself totally to this idea that, people deserve a place that they love as much as I do. And just continuing to create that. It's been really hard, but it's been so fulfilling. It's been really great.
That's wonderful. And I mean, to your point, retail and, you have the space. What happened for you? How were you able to elevate in a time of, oh my God?
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of like what Mariah said, I just shut down. I was the first shop to close. A lot of people were like, we're still monitoring. We don't know what's going to happen. And I was just like, you know what, I just want to keep people safe. And then, the next day, everything else shut down. And, through May, I just kind of shut down inside as well. I had a really rough couple of months, and I know I'm not the only one, but I couldn't do any sort of work. I just couldn't. And when May came around, I don't know if it was the sunshine or if it had just been 2 full months of doing nothing. But I realized I've got, 100 independent brands in my store that are also counting on me to help them make money. And so that was my biggest motivator, was knowing that I had all these people that were relying on me. And so I kind of pivoted at the store and started bringing in things for the pandemic, which I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to profit off the pandemic, but I knew people needed masks. And so I started selling masks from a company that also donated masks back to the healthcare sector when they needed them the most as well. And so I just kind of started digging into that. And then I saw the waste from the mask being thrown away. And I had always wanted to do a refill bar. And so from there, I spent all my resources on a refill bar, and it really paid off because people were excited to not be throwing away their plastic containers when they were also throwing away masks and, cleaning wipes and all of that stuff. So it was a nice way to kind of balance out the waste that was happening through the pandemic. And that, I think, really was kind of my saving grace. That, and the fact that people really wanted to support small business, like seeing what was happening and seeing all these businesses close that they love so much. And we really had a big push from our community that helped us stick around. So 50% community, 50% a lot of hard work.
I have the chills because you've said so many beautiful things. One is, so I'll back up to the first one, which is you were motivated because you had over 100 local businesses. I mean, I have the chills feeling your vibe, because that is huge. The ecosystem, we are all connected. And for you to have gotten the hit to remember that you are connected to all of those people, and that you had a responsibility, not just to yourself and your wallet, but to all of them and to the community and to the earth, girl, up top to you. I mean, I really, it really gives me the chills. I love meeting people like all of you, because we are here to change the world, and you're doing that. And so I'm so inspired, and it's just motivating for me. I have the chills. We have a question at first, and then I'm going to ask Amber how you've sustained in this. So Maura, if I mispronounce your name, please forgive me, Malloy. Her question comment is, you're also so far ahead of me, girl. You're right where you need to be. Not that I need to Miss Cleo you right now. Can you give me some tangible actions that you took early on to grow your business, email list, audience? Can you share just maybe like how you started? Because to Maura's point, when we start from ground zero, like, what are we even doing? And so you're feeling your way through the dark. So can anyone share a couple of notes for how you got started and were able to launch into where you are now?
I'll jump in real quick. This is always an interesting question for me, because I got started just doing what I love. I was creating my own products for me because of my sensitivities, and it kind of took on a life of its own. But looking back, I think the most important thing is, if you're not loving what you're doing, just make sure you're loving what you're doing first. That passion is there. And then I would say, for me, I was a big believer in not leveraging. Grow slow, grassroots, slow and steady wins the race. Find your people to help you. Don't be scared to ask people for, advice. Find inspiration. Learn to trust. I know that's kind of helicopter view, but I think it's a great place to start. All the details will work itself out, as long as you're, you've got a support team, and you've got people that you trust that you can talk to, and you're loving what you're doing and taking it one day at a time, and one piece at a time, and it kind of just snowballs from there, I think.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just taking every opportunity that presented itself. I mean, I moved into Pattern Workshop designing greeting cards, not even thinking about having a store at that point, because I didn't think I could. And we were on Mass Ave. And so I was there, and I just did it. And so I took advantage of that opportunity. And then everything else that presented itself, even like small pop-up things that, just everything that could get you exposure, and finding your people, like Amber said, anything that would put you on that path. And then I also value email lists over Instagram, because the Instagram algorithm, you don't know who's going to see what you have to say. But when you're emailing people, you can get the message directly to them, and it doesn't have to like fight through a sea of other content. It's just right there. So I suggest email lists.
Great advice. Jessie, how did you grow that email list in the beginning?
A lot of giveaways, honestly. Sign up for our email list and get a free plant, or when I did events, I would just take people's names. Never be afraid to ask people if they want to join your list, because most of the time they'll say yes and then unsubscribe if they don't want to be on it. But at least you have your foot in the door, in the beginning with that email address. Just always ask.
Excellent. Mariah, you're in a different position. You're in your house. So how did you start? Did you do events, or, you have a beautiful Instagram feed all up in that, girl. Can't wait to talk more.
Yeah. So when I was working full time and decided that I wanted to launch this business, and so they were fabulous, the company that I was working for. I actually transitioned down to a part-time position and took a couple of months to build a website, get my business insurance, like establish an LLC. I wanted to treat this as a business and not as a hobby. And I think that, starting it out that way versus just like, hey, can I come pop over and do something in your closet? Like, I charged from day one. I really didn't do any free work because I knew that there was value to the service that I was providing. But what I also did was I had 60 coffees in 60 days over that course of the summer in 2017. And sometimes that was 3 coffee meetings back to back, and then I'd have a few days off. But it was like, I need to get in front of realtors. I need to get in front of interior designers. I need to, have coffee with super well-connected people that maybe don't need me, but they know people that need me. And, when I started, obviously my Instagram was just a few friends that were following me. It wasn't, there was no way to get the word out via social media or via an email list. But I totally agree with Jessie that email is king over social media. I mean, it is the most confusing, frustrating beast to try and tackle. You'll get 200 likes on a post, and then you get 3, and you're like, you're so good. And I worked so hard on that caption. So I did some work for a local fashion blogger, and as part of that, she encouraged people to sign up for my email list, and that really, that is what really grew it right off the bat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
so networking is key. Yeah, you're so right on. So much wisdom. Thank you, Mariah. That's amazing. Amber, we have like 3 minutes, but I would love, because your business has grown in like amazing ways throughout this. We're just going to call it like the transformation of our lives. Like, to be honest, it's not about me, but I'm just so tired of like the negative aspects. And it's like, this is an opportunity, back to our friend sharing that earlier. It's Mariah, it really is an opportunity for us to rise and to grow. So Amber, how were you and your team able to just take it to the next level? Because it's awesome.
It forced us to get creative even more so. So when the pandemic hit, we got news that our kids are coming home within 2 hours. Go get them home. They're home for a while. We found that out. And then within the next few days, half of our business is our retailers, and we have about 600 retailers. And within a few weeks, that went away. And we did have a little bit of a freak out moment. And, what do? We still have our online presence, and that's where we need to get creative. And what can we do in times like this? Because it's so uncharted. It still is. So it kind of forced us to get into a position to try new things, listen to each other. What ideas can everybody bring to the table? And we brought everybody's idea to the table and ran with it. And start trying out some new things that, we've never done before. And, it had some moments there where I was losing sleep. It was, I'm to be honest, it was, I'm worried about keeping my staff. I have 12 employees, and some of them are family members, and, quite a few of them, I think actually like half of them, their husbands lost their jobs, or what is it when you're on, you're not
furloughed.
getting, furloughed. And so that just piled on a little bit of anxiety, because I'm like, okay, we have to make this work. But at the same time, that's where we got to really trust this business and what it's capable of. We've been doing the groundwork for so long. So it was a time to really trust each other, trust our customers who, like I think Jessie said, want to support business, small business, local businesses, and try new things and get creative. And personally, it's forced me to dive into my yoga for my own mental wellness and dive more into my spiritual practice. And I think even with that, again, going back to that ripple effect, it's all connected. So, it was a crazy time, but it also taught me how incredible this business truly is, to not only survive and to keep everybody employed, but to grow. And so it just made me dive more into what we've been doing as far as sustaining. And I kind of want to add something to the person because I think it's important, to the person that was asking the question about getting business started. I want them to know that, you know, you're going to derail and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to try something new and it's going to feel like you failed and you're falling, but that is intentional because it puts us right back on the path that we're meant to be on. So when creating a business and starting a business, don't worry if these things, you know, that you try fail or, you know, fall back on your face or whatever. It's on purpose. It's intentional. It's putting us back to where we need to be. And there were so many of those moments for me. You know, I still don't even have a business plan. So I think all businesses are different with the way they grow, and you just have to listen to your inner guidance. And if you fall, that's okay. You know, find gratitude in that because it's for a reason. Sorry, you know how I go. I was like, I'm going to derail a little bit, but anyway.
That's beautiful. You all have just been so wonderful. And I'm so inspired. I mean, when you get to have chills 4 times before, you know, 10 a.m. in Colorado, you are super lucky. I'm so lucky. So thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for being here and just shining your light. And our dear friend, Leslie, the queen of the Mavens. Oh yeah, girl. We're so proud of you. Talk about sustaining your passion.
That's so awkward. Thank you. I wanted to send to Amber. That was my friend Maura who asked that question. And it's funny that was your response because I sent her a screenshot of this yesterday. Have faith that you and the universe have created everything for your growth and be grateful for it no matter what. And we had a whole conversation. So it's timely that was the advice that you shared with her because we had an entire conversation about how everything is there to help you grow. And we need to stop having this is good, this is bad. It's not good or bad. It just is happening. And that's how you get to where you are. And you are all doing such wonderful things for our community and each other and women. So thank you. That was worth the derail. I really appreciate it. Next up, I'm doing our keynote, which is in like 5 minutes, and I'm going to have to pee first. So I will go ahead and do our quick giveaway. So this is a pamper box from Something Splendid, and they put together these amazing little themed boxes. We love them. And I'm looking on here. That's not where it is. Hold on. The winner is Samantha Ripperger. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but congratulations. We will reach out to you in email with information on how you get a hold of your box. Yes, this is great. Also, Shayna from Invoke is going to lead some yoga today, starting at 12:45 before our next panel. So you'll want to use panel number 3's link early to get the yoga stretch in, which will be a great afternoon break for all of us. So thank you again so much. Andrea, you are such a pro as a moderator. Thank you for joining us all the way from Colorado. Yes, it was such a pleasure to get to know all of you even more than I already do. And I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Thank you guys.
Ladies.
Have a beautiful day.
Have a great day. We'll see you all over in a little bit.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
Bye.